money and finances. Let's get into it.
Money is like a religion.
If you don't have money, you can't live.
Taxation slave system.
What's going on here?
Some people are evil fucking bastards with money.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the Father and Daughter Podcast with myself, Ria.
And myself, Mem, the father of Ria, co-creators and writers of The Only Way We Knew, a crime psychological thriller based on true events with fiction in it. Okay, so yeah,
you already know that one, don't you?
I have to keep on bringing it up because at the end of the day, I'm no expert, I'm no professor, I'm no MP. I'm not a professor, or I ain't done no PhD or masters in anything.
We get it, Dad. You're not clever. Yeah.
A lot of people are going to go, yeah, she's right there. But yeah, I'm not an expertise in a lot of the fields that we're talking about. So everything that we talk about, we're talking about what's relating to the book. So even though we might drift away from actually the specific chapter or scenario in the book, it's very important to know that we've got background in that field or subject that we're talking about, and only my experience, okay,
and only my opinions.
I can only, I mean, there was one guy, I think, what was his name, Nick, he rebuilds cars on YouTube, and he does an amazing job. He's absolutely an amazing YouTuber, and he always highlights whatever I'm doing, I'm not a mechanic, so it's trial and error for him. So I totally get it. But yeah,
7th episode,
getting there, girl,
getting there,
we're getting there, we're finding our flow.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're getting there. Maybe you guys will agree, maybe you won't. But, you know, everything is a trial and error for us.
It takes time.
It does take time. So
it's like a beautiful flower. You sow the seed.
Yeah, you watch
water
it grow.
And you watch it grow.
Yeah.
All right? Nothing happens overnight. And thank God it doesn't, because
it takes away the fun.
It takes away the fun, yeah. So what's the subject today, girl?
So today's subject, very controversial subject. It's something that we all have an opinion on one way or another, whether they're the same opinions or they differ, it's an opinion. And what we're going to talk about today, I believe, is maybe one of your favourite subjects, Dad.
Mine?
Yeah.
No.
It's one of your favourite things in the world.
What?
Me, I'm joking. We're going to be talking about money and finances. So let's get into it.
Money. Okay.
Money.
Okay.
Dinero.
Money. Dinero. Lira. Peseta. Euro.
Peso.
It's all around the world.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
It's all around the world.
And I think there's a lot to be said on it. So.
Yeah. Money.
It's like, where do you start?
Where do you start? I'm going to try and think of money and go back to the beginning of money. All right. So even though I haven't researched anything, I've looked into it. But money was invented for exchange. Well, if you actually look at a pound note, the money, physical money, it does say on it, I'll borrow you this.
Yeah.
All right. So it's all about trust.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the government itself install a psychological cloud over everyone to pass around notes in exchange of trust. So if I can give you this £5 note, I trust that you're going to give it to someone else and they're going to give you something in exchange. So it itself is, it's a bit in the air. It's only a bit of paper when you think about it. But before money, how did we get by? How did we get by before money?
Well, it was a similar kind of way, wasn't it? You exchange something for something. So I think it was gold, and I think before that it was like sheeps and animals.
Trades.
And like trades.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine, like, I know we don't have plasterers back then, but it could have been something like, oh, if I lay bricks for you, can you give me 2 chickens? Because I suppose back then, everything was agricultural. The majority of things were agricultural. I think it wasn't really, if I give you this bit of land, will you grow me some crops on it? Because I don't have the water, you do. So I can understand how people will be very...
So I help you out with this and you help me out with that.
Yeah, so I trust you to do this, and we trust each other to create this amazing system. And I think because there was money not involved, I think it would have made it more of a humbling and more of a happier time. But there again, if I said I was going to come and lay some bricks for you and you gave me 2 chickens and I've eaten your chickens, and the bloke who laid the bricks mucked it up, where do we go from there?
It's true, yeah. You're not exactly getting what you wanted in the beginning. Yeah, I get you.
So I find it... Yeah, so the beginning of before money, was it more of a humbling time? I don't know. There would have been issues and stuff like that.
I was going to say, I think there was still issues with regards to like land. You still had to have somewhere to live, and you would obviously want that place in exchange for whatever you could give them. Do you know what I mean? So as much as it was helping each other out, I think it's more of a like, I want something you have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I always think that other person would know he would want it. Yeah.
And I think it then would, like, if that person had an ego, it would stroke it. Do you get what I mean? Like, I have something you want.
Yeah.
And then maybe there was more manipulation. Do you get
Possibly.
what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, if someone's actually run out of materials to give or trade to give, what do they give?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does thieving come involved in then?
Definitely. I mean, that's what happens.
What does money mean to you?
What does money mean to me?
Looking at the world today, the way it is, what does money mean to you? I mean, look at your clothes that you got on, where we are today.
Yeah, money is important, isn't it? It is important. I understand the importance of having money and why people go so mad over it. So, money is important to me, yes, to a degree. I wouldn't sell my soul for money, though.
You wouldn't sell your soul for money?
Never.
Do you find a lot of people do?
Yeah.
Example?
I believe people would go to crazy degrees just to obtain a little bit of money. And I do understand why they would. I mean, there are reasons for that. Like if... the whole saying, like, the grass is greener on the other side. If you haven't got money and you need money, you would do some crazy stuff just to get it, because that is the world we live in.
Desperation.
Desperate, yeah. If you don't have money, you can't live.
So when we say desperate, I said desperate there. At what stage does desperate kick in? Do you get what I mean with money? So I'll give you an example. You can have a roof over your shoulder and you can have food on your table and you're all fine. But we all want more. I
was going to say, I think it's human nature to want more. Not everyone. Some people are very content with what they have, even if it is a little. However, majority of people do want more. They're not content with what they have. I don't know if it's like a personal fulfillment either. Like, I know what I can achieve and I'm not happy with what I have. Some people, I do believe, are just like that. They always want more than what they have.
Do you think a lot of that is to do with, like, looking on the outside?
Yeah, I think,
like social media.
I think we have a lot of outside sources that show us the extent of how much we can have. And I think when you weigh that out with what you have, if it's not as much, you may feel like a less of a person. I feel like in my generation, we often look at people, like you just said, on social media. There may be musicians, rappers, social media influencers, and they do only present to you what they want to show you, and often that is surrounded by materialistic things which have been bought with money. You know, there's a whole craze about like watches, and I've got this watch. Like, this is amongst like what I notice, like I'd say the males of my generation. You know, what car have you got? What kind of clothes are you wearing? What kind of house have you got?
Are you using these things practically? So obviously it's nice to have a couple of jackets and a couple of this, but how far do you take that?
Yeah.
I mean, a watch is, I mean, a lot of people say it's investment.
Yeah.
You know, but
and maybe
it only tells the time.
Maybe one or two are an investment if you have an abundance of money, and you know, you do want to invest it in something that could be like a heirloom. Do you know what I mean? As passed down to your children or whatever it is. But I think people blur the lines with that heavily, and there's a difference between like I just said, one or two watches and then taking the utter piss with it. Yeah. See, when in the last podcast we spoke about religion, and you know, we spoke about being spiritual, and you know how being religious, you know, is like a book, and you know, we have to read this book to believe in God, to be religious. Do you believe, well, not you believe, but do you feel like money is like a religion? To some people, yeah, definitely.
And do you think it's an easier religion, and that's why people go down that road?
It's a more, when I say realistic, I mean, if we're going to stem back to the last podcast where we were speaking about, like, you're like, this is a glass and I can see it. Yeah. It's the same thing with money. It's a physical thing that you can see. You know it's real, although a lot of it can be an illusion. Do you get what I mean? It's just a piece of paper. It's just a coin.
Yeah.
But I find people can put their faith in that a lot more. And there's reason behind it too, because your lifestyle will depend on how much money you have. So if you've got a lot of money, you can associate it with financial freedom. You're able to do all the things that you couldn't do if you didn't have that accessibility. Do you know what I mean? I've got to stop saying, do you know what I mean, as well. I watched the last podcast and oh my goodness, I didn't stop saying, do you know what I mean? But do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Okay, so yeah.
We know we know what she means. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do.
Do you know where that phrase come from? Do you know what I mean?
What? Where?
If you got it came from a British boxer called Frank Bruno.
Did it?
Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. So there was a phase back in the day where everyone kept going, do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I do it as like, I seek reassurance by saying, do you know what I mean? I think when I say something to you and your face is a little bit blank and I don't know if you're agreeing or disagreeing with me.
No, I agree with everything.
Yeah.
Look, Ria, at the end of the day, with this podcast, as much as people are going to be learning about me or us, I'm learning about you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So I think that is one of the beautiful things about it, where we can, you know,
because these kind of subjects we wouldn't really speak about on a general day-to-day basis.
Because you don't have time.
Yeah, like we wouldn't just randomly sit there at dinner and start talking about religion and, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So,
no, we would.
Yeah.
But not in depth. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it can get a bit, I wouldn't say argumentative, but
political.
But yeah. So getting back to money and religion, I do believe a lot of people, especially in today's age, they tend to make money a religion, because religion itself is something, you know, you wake up and you're in a religious way all day long, even though you know, if you're Muslim 5 times a day or mosque or whatever, so it's consistently in your face all the time. Even though I'm not religious, that's what I see. Money is being thrown in your face all the time,
whether you like it or
not. And it's either not enough, too much, how to get it, how to spend it, how to do this, how to do that. and it's constantly balancing money, because money at the end of the day, what I find, it brings a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff. I mean, it opens doors. Example, you're talking about Rolex watches and cars and stuff. Listen, I drive a little motor. I pull up at a set of traffic lights. A guy pulls up in a big fat car, and I look at his big fat car, and I look at my car, and I say to myself, God, wouldn't it be nice to have that? Wouldn't it be nice to drive in that right now? Wouldn't it be nice for my missus to be sitting in a beautiful car like that? You know, wouldn't it be nice for my children to say, my dad's got a big fat Mercedes, you know? But then when that car pulls away, it's a very short-lived thing for me.
I was going to say,
I pretend I'm driving a Mercedes.
I realised with you, the things you value as important are not things like that.
Nah.
Like, I realised that you could, if you wanted to, have a really lovely car if you wanted to, but you just don't want to enough.
I'd rather have a sharp set of knives in my drawer.
I know what you
to
value
cut
as
chicken, and I'd rather have.
And I find that quite like enlightening, because often people prioritize things differently.
Yeah.
So when people earn a lot of money, one of the first things they want to do is go and buy a lovely car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then their priorities are they're not bothered about maybe the fact that their home isn't so great.
Yeah.
Because people won't really see that. But people will see them in traffic in their nice car.
Why does money make people go so mad? Why does money create division? I'm really big into two words, yeah, acceptance and unity. All right, and I believe if you accept something, you move on. If you're unified, you get through things stronger. All right, and this is where family kicks in. And if we accept what's going on, we move on. So when I say, why does money make people go mad? And it does. As much as people go, no, it don't. It does. It creates it divides people. It makes people not trust me. He's going to take it off me. You know, and if there's someone a little bit more poorer than you, you know, he wants to be where you are. And if there's someone more richer than you, he's going to stamp on you because he doesn't want you to be where he is. Did you get what I mean? It's like levels of finance.
Yeah.
And people end up doing the craziest things.
Just to climb that ladder.
Just to climb that ladder. Even if it's robbing your own brother or stealing from your own family member. And this is what people do. But it doesn't happen a lot in the way people believe. So what happens is, I feel like where they go mad is where people fear that and they become segregated.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like if
they'd rather not associate.
Yeah, like if someone drives a big fat car, a lot of men want to ask that fella, out of just curiosity, what do you do for a living, mate? Like, how have you managed that? Not in the way, and you always get, oh yeah, mate, it's don't worry about that. It's do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, they don't want to let off too much, and I find that itself can make people go crazy over money, you know, and go to different levels. And
because I do believe with money, it equals power, and power equals influence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like the people that have money, and a lot of it, they are deemed very powerful to people that don't have as much. Therefore, they have an influence over the people that have less than. And that influence often is, I want what you have. So there's always going to be a feeling of like, what's the word? a feeling of like I'm not good enough.
Right. I was just going to say something there, because you just said something really important that I feel like a lot of people don't think deep enough, especially men. Women in ways as well, but men. Money, as much as I say it's what I'm going to say sounds crazy, it all relates down to a male ego and sex. All right?
Yeah.
What happens is where men get carried away with trying to make money, they actually come away from actually what it is, what they're actually trying to achieve. So what money can do can buy you nice clothes that a woman can look at you, buy a nice car, exactly like I looked at that man in that Mercedes beside me. And as much as I turned around and I said, it'd be nice for my missus to be in that car, what he's thinking in the Mercedes, he's looking at me and going, I bet your missus wants to be in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah. When someone is more richer than someone else, it makes them more desirable.
100%.
All right. Men look at it and think women find it a male figure.
It's crazy how much.
It all comes back down to sex.
Men will possibly disagree with me. However, I feel like they'd understand why I say this. Women are such a huge drive in men.
Totally.
They really are.
I mean, you see it every day with me and your mum.
Yeah. But they honestly are. I do think a great portion of how a man wants to be perceived is mainly because of how he wants to be perceived by women.
It's 100%
because
true.
You know, history proves that you can be a not so great looking man, but if you've got a shitload of money, guaranteed you can walk into a room and pretty much get any woman that you want.
Guaranteed.
However, if the roles are reversed, it's not the case.
In what way?
If you're not such an attractive woman, but you've got loads of money,
yeah,
do you think you could get any man that you wanted? And if you could, would they be for the right reasons?
I don't think it would be. Well, do you know what?
Because I feel like
it's weird.
I feel like men could be with a woman that hasn't got a lot going for her. Is a little bit of do you know what I mean? Like a bit. When I say thick, I don't mean like you've got a PhD in this, that, and the other. I just mean like a moral compass. Do you know what I mean? They haven't got much substance, but if they're drop dead gorgeous, that man will pay them a bit of interest.
Yeah.
And that is purely because, like what you said, because of sex.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting.
It's all about a sexual desire initially at the beginning. And if you go back into the times, and remember we spoke about religion, there was a big part in the religion thing that I never said. And only when I watched that documentary back, I wanted
the podcast back.
I wanted to say something. And I, you know what? I wish I said it. And it was about religion, how I believe it was created. And I feel like before religion was created, there was a very barbaric time. And people were killing people and out of nothing. And I feel like a lot of the killings would have done over women.
100%.
So, you know, the bigger, the gladiator, the stronger guy, that guy back in that day could not have bought a Lamborghini because there was no Lamborghinis. But for him to show that he was a specimen and women to look at that man and go, I want him to be the father of my children because it's a good specimen man. You know, if you've got a big 6-foot gladiator geezer built like a brick house shit, and then you got me, small, little, short, no hair, bang. They're not going to pick me, are they, to be their children? They're going to pick him.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes, you know, that is where money comes in modern time. So I could now throw them 2 times forward, and that big gladiator ain't got a shitload of money. He's got nothing. And it's me with a load of money, and I pull up with a Lamborghini. I pull up in a big fat ass, Rolexes, throwing cash around. I tell people I'm going to the Maldives tomorrow. I just had a Chanel bag dropped off to her, and here, and that, and the other, and I become very desirable. So all of a sudden, modern time, man can create a fictional but magical jacket.
Yeah.
And just like I mentioned in the book, I'll always come back to the book. We tend to wear jackets that don't fit us. And them jackets have different patterns in different eras of our times. You know what I mean? If it ain't a mental thing, if it ain't a physical thing, if it ain't a financial thing, this jacket protects our internals. But yeah, I think it all goes back down to money makes people go mad.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah?
Definitely.
Okay. So even though we talk about money and we talk about how money makes people go mad, there's one thing that I have in the back of my head, and as much as people might disagree with me, and I don't know how you feel about this, because maybe you haven't hit your financial status yet where you want to be, or you know, where you want to be with your money situation. But me, deep down, I personally believe that money is I've named this, is a taxation slavery system. Yeah, this is what I'm going to name it. And I believe what money does, it keeps you tied to a system, because without that money, we can't achieve anything. We can't have these microphones, can't have these cameras, can't have none of this. You can't be sitting here with these clothes. Yeah, we can't have none of it. But for us to have this, we're tied to a taxation system. So every April, every year, income tax, this tax, that tax, whatever you buy is tax. I'm not going to go too deep into tax, but if you actually look at how much tax you actually pay, tax on top of tax, you go and buy things, is tax, this tax. You don't look at that, because when you actually do your day to day, they don't want you to know it. They don't want you to know that you are paying tax. When you work and you work for someone, they don't want you to know you're paying tax. All they want you to do is look at that sum, gross income. They want you to look at that. They don't want you to look at the national insurance and tax, because if you look at that, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You're going to go, shit, I've earned $4,000 this month and I've just paid £800. To who? For what? So I believe we are in a taxation, a slavery system. That's what I mean. I think we're in. And I think as much as we look in the past and we look at different slave times, I think maybe in 100 years' time, we're going to look back. And we're going to look back at this and we're going to go, was it a taxation slave system? Is that what it is? Because things are going to change. Money's going to change. Do you get what I mean by that?
Yeah. It's an element of control, isn't it?
Total control.
It's a weird one when you break it down, isn't it? Because you don't quite know how to feel about it. But 100% when you see how much tax that you do end up paying.
On the flip side, that's where crime comes in.
Oh, 100%.
All right. So
yeah,
crime, does it pay? It can.
It can.
It can. If you're smart. If you're a businessman and you have an understanding of how to run a legitimate business, and you have a crime and you're into crime, whatever it may be, thieving, and I don't mean thieving, going nicking couple of bottles of wine from Sainsbury's or anything like that. I'm on about proper thieving. I'm on about you're nicking from banks, you're nicking from, you're doing fraud. You know, there's a lot of crime out there that can generate a lot of money. Drug dealing makes a lot of money, and these people have got jobs. They're jobs, and in their world, they're like, I'm not involved in the taxation slave system.
Yeah.
And as much as it sounds the opposite of what we do on a daily basis, these guys honestly go, fuck them. They don't give me fuck all. Yeah? And that's what they do.
Which is understandable.
It's
just what goes on in that crime world. That is an element of morally wrong.
To an extent. So it's morally wrong to people that are on this side of the law. Yeah? That's what it is. That's the reality of it.
Well, there's levels to crime, isn't there?
Yeah, and exactly, I believe it was the second episode of the Deptford one, when I'm walking down Resolution Way, I highlight there's earners out there. As long as you don't hurt no one, or you don't take you don't take stuff from people's home, or people that are, do you get what I'm trying to say? And you could take off big industries, and you could take off, you understand what I mean? Where these people are robbing people daily legitimately, people don't see it as a problem.
No.
And I get it.
Yeah,
I understand it.
Yeah.
I've done it. Do you understand? And that's why at that time, certain people don't feel guilt. They go, fuck them. I don't give a shit. They fucking do another one anyway. They claim off insurance anyway. Still driving a big fat fucking Bentley. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So people that go mad for money, what madness do they go to?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Crazy extremes.
So, Ria, as much as we talk about Rolexes and this, that and the other, to you, is materialistic things important? And why?
They're nice. I think everyone can say having something nice is a nice feeling, you know? I think that's part of like not having it and then being able to explore it. Like, oh my God, you know, I've never had a Gucci jumper before. Now I've got a Gucci jumper. Oh my God, is this how it is? But I do feel like it's a novelty thing too, materialistic things.
Okay.
So, well, firstly, I feel like it stems from being a child. Yeah. And I feel like having a lack of materialistic things can cause you problems when you're a child. So children are very ignorant. They don't understand the concept of money. I feel like we'll get into that in a bit as well. So if you go to school and you've got a pair of like run down shoes on and your school uniform's a bit raggedy or whatever, children are not going to look at you like, oh, you know, your parents, maybe they're struggling and, you know, whatever's going on at home is resulting in you coming to school like this. No, they're just going to look at you like, haha, look at you, look at your shoes, like you're a tramp. Do you get what I mean? So therefore you now are like, okay, me having nice shoes is important. Me having these things that I don't have is important because of how you're perceived. And you don't want to feel attacked in that way. So you value these things as important. So to me personally...
You saying what you're saying, I'm just going to jump back. So when we done the podcast about insecurities...
Yeah.
Does materialistic things get, maybe short term, does it get rid of insecurities?
It can help cancel it out. Yeah, it can. It can help cancel it out. Because again, if you're insecure about, for example, your weight, like we spoke about previously, or maybe like you said, your lack of hair. If you're head to toe in a designer brand and you smell lovely because you've got an expensive perfume on,
them things are valued that it could smother
it could cover up that whole insecurity.
Yeah.
Because you're giving other people something to focus on. It's like a distraction. So I do believe as well, that's why people like materialistic things. Because not only does it show, okay, you've got money. That's what these things do. They show you've got money. But it also makes you appear as a desirable person. Even if you don't feel like that in your plain self.
How do you feel when also, I don't know, you'd be scrolling through Instagram. Sorry. you'd be scrolling through Instagram or whatever, and you see someone on there, and you're like, bruh,
Yeah.
they've got some proper clothes. You know, they're walking through their house with this amount of wealth, and you see this like immense glow on this person. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so what you want to be. I'm this most. I'm like Jesus.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Well, when I first started
And
looking,
how do you think that makes general public feel?
so me personally, when I first started like looking on social media at all these, and there was the social media influencer boom, I did look at people like, oh my goodness, like you're achieving a lot. Like, you know, you've got all these bracelets on that I know are like £2,000 each. All these rings, again, £2,000 each. You're going down to Selfridges every day, buying all this stuff. You're going out to eat at these really fancy places. What's going on here? Like, how are you achieving this? You're younger than I am, and you've got all of this stuff. Like, how, it doesn't make sense to me. And it took me a little while to realize that on Instagram and on social media, they only show you what they want to show you. You only see what they show you, in a sense of, okay, you don't know that bracelet may be fake. And they may have lost someone, got a load of inheritance. They might have, I don't know, they might be doing something a little bit dodgy on the side that nobody knows about. But all you're seeing is the good of it. You're just seeing what they want to show you. And it is like, oh my God, you know, you're like Jesus, you know, how are you doing all of this? Like, me seeing you do that, it makes me not feel worthy enough. Like, why am I not like you? Why are you the chosen one? Why do you get all of this stuff? It can make people bitter. And I feel like in the general people, when we're talking about like general people, you either aspire to be like these people, or you develop a little bit of a hatred for people like that. Because social media is not the real world. It isn't. Often these people that you see on social media showing all of this stuff
it's not the real world because you haven't got that bling bling.
No, I know there's a great portion of people that it is their real life. It is. But it's the whole fake it till you make it kind of thing. There's a lot of people that it's not all as clean cut as it looks. It's not. Their car is a rental. They don't own that car.
But that might be a finance thing. That might be a good thing for them. They might, what am I going to own it for?
Yes, no, I get you. But my point to you is...
might be cleverness.
Yeah, but I don't think a great portion of it is either. I don't.
Okay.
What about you?
Oh, well, you're asking me a question, are you? Oh.
I always ask you questions. And this is... So I'm just like, you know, go and ask me some things. But yeah.
Previously, obviously, I think it's to do with age. Where you are in your life. When I was your age, I was... obviously, social media wasn't huge at that time. But you could see it on the street anyway.
Because, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, like, me personally... I like watching people on YouTube, you know, like a lot of people, influencers, their vlogs and stuff.
Can inspire you.
Yeah. However, when I see somebody that I watched years ago compared to now, and I've seen how they've changed, how money has influenced them, I'm not a bitter person. I will always wish people well, regardless. But I'd be lying if I said they didn't get on my nerves. Yeah, I'm just going down to here today, and oh yeah, me and Mum, we went to Joe and the Juice, and we got a tunacado, and yeah, I'm flying to Bali on Wednesday, and oh my God, my hairstylist messed up my hair extension, and it is a little bit like, all right,
okay,
like this has now become your personality.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you could maybe say that I'm a bit like
bitter.
But I'm not, though, because at the same time, really good luck to you. I can see that you've put in work, you know, like...
Yeah.
You're not a bad person. Well, I don't know you personally to say that, but what I see, you're not a bad person. I have no reason to not wish you well. But it doesn't change that you're annoying.
Yeah.
And it's annoying because you don't talk about anything else other than what you have, what you're going to do, and do you get what I mean? And there is only so much that is entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue, sorry.
Yeah, the question was, do I feel like that when I watch people on Instagram? So, when I was your age, oh yeah. Even though I never had Instagram.
I was going to say, didn't have Instagram back then.
But our Instagram was the street.
Yeah.
Our Instagram was people walking into the shop. Our friends, people from different sides of London, you know. And when we used to be doing what we used to do, and we'd look at someone with a big car and all this, that, and the other, did I get envious? Yeah. Yeah. Like I said in...
it's like the grass is greener kind of
yeah,
vibes,
do you know what it was? It's like I said, I think it was in the 3rd episode of Deptford. Yeah, you can see all this stuff that I do so real because it don't leave my mind. I went, printing. And I said just before that you look at other people and you feel like they're going to give you this secret ingredients to this magical big fat cars. You're waiting for this person to walk in and say to you, bro, I really like you. I think I'll need you in with Ian. I haven't told anyone. This is the secret.
Yeah.
And us as youngsters, we felt that. We felt like someone will give us an opportunity. And we held on for a while. But what it did was we kept looking at these people and going, please tell me the secret. So
and what you need.
Yeah, I can create what you've got and more.
Yeah.
But you actually realised it wasn't the truth.
No.
And you had to go out there and do it yourself. And you had to create your own ingredients and your own secret. And printing, and more printing was my secret. And I couldn't tell anyone, only certain people. So what I was trying to get to, as I've got older and I look at materialistic things, it does not in the slightest way entertain me. I come from a family that was brought up in business, and you know, if we didn't need it, we wouldn't buy it. We make sure that everything that we had was practical, functional for us to use on an everyday basis. You know, we wouldn't have like ornaments around the house to make the house look nice. We don't need ornaments. It makes us clean more. We got to go around and dust more and clean more. And it just wasn't us. You know, my mum would say, why do you need a rug? We've got to hoover it more. Why do you need this? We've got to work more.
Yeah.
And getting back to the question you asked me, well, I asked you and you finally asked me, was... how do I feel about seeing these people? Do you want me to tell you honest truth? I love to see people do well. I love it because I feel like in this world we need inspiration, and youngsters need inspiration. It's sad it might be the wrong type of inspiration, but if they don't have inspiration at home from their parents, they're going to find an inspiration wherever it's from. But yeah, I love watching it, but it doesn't emotionally affect me in any slightest way. Good.
Do you think it can affect people in an emotional way?
Yeah. Like, there's so there was always this thing. I can remember this guy I was talking, really highly intelligent, and you know, I asked him the question of, does money make you happy? Does money make you happy? And I remember his answers. His answers were the most beautiful answers I've ever heard. And I reckon it's the most truest. Money can't bring happiness. if you end up making money, depending in what state of mind you are at that time, it only makes it worse. So money itself, yeah, pays bills and gets you cars and all this and gives you some sort of element of fulfillment, yeah. But imagine that you deep down, you're depressed, you suffer from anxiety, you suffer from paranoia, you suffer from insecurities, you suffer from, did I say depression?
No.
Depression. You suffer from different types of depression, social anxieties, all these little bits. Money can't get rid of that. It might help it a little bit. You might pay for therapy and whatever and get it. You won't. But what money does, it enhances it. Because if you can have all these things that we're talking about, Chanel jackets and bling bling cars and £2,000 bracelets, Rolexes, Lamborghinis and a big fat house, and internally I've got demons. Them demons are going to become even worse because it's like, holy shit, that Lamborghini can't get rid of it, and it will become more prominent.
Yeah.
More so when you're not thinking about it and you're putting your foot down on your Lambo and you're hearing that, then you park it up and pull it back in the garage and you go into your house. You're like, shit. Do you get what I mean by that? So can money bring happiness? To an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, to an extent. Go to a restaurant, we're all doing prawns and lobsters tonight. Not like back in the day when I used to look at a menu and I wouldn't look at what was on it, and I would just look at the price, and I was like, I wouldn't even look at the menu, I'd just look at the prices.
I can't have any of that. I'm having
shit,
chips.
I'm not even looking what that was. And I've gone, oh, I can afford that, $6.99. I look at it and it says bread and water. And I look at your mum and I go, what are you ordering? No, it's a shit, mum. And I'd come up with something stupid like, yeah, I ate before I come.
Yeah.
I was starving.
Yeah.
I could see other plates eating. They got steak, prawns, whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, that looks delicious. Oh my God, there's me going, bloody hell.
Your stomach's like,
I'm bloated. I can't eat anything, just because I couldn't afford it.
yeah.
And they're the situations. Money will bring you happiness.
Yeah.
You want to go on holiday. I'm not gonna any disrespect to any people that go to Butlins or Haven or anything. We've done it. We've been there, and we had a great time. But when you got money, you look at Maldives, you look at
Bora Bora.
Yeah, you look at all the 5-star. Yeah, we're going business class. I can't be sitting on EasyJet. We've done it.
Yeah.
Remember, we've done it. As much as we loved it. At that time, all squashed up, no knees, no going that, bloke there, his feet stink, he's breathing all over me, baby screaming over me. But money gets rid of all that.
It does, yeah.
It's like I'm sitting in luxury watching Panoramic. I just look at I got money, George, I got money. And he's sitting there going, I got money too. And you go, I got more money. I got more money. He's like, fuck you. Now we're fighting, you know what I mean? Like Turkish weddings, they're throwing money in the air. Like, when's it gonna stop? Ego. And then why they go, I got more money, he's got more money. There's a woman there and he wants the woman to hear, I got more money, you like me? You like me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
So it all depends where you are in your life, what money can do, because money can drive you to the ground as well.
I agree with you, yeah. And it's also like, take away people that seem to earn money at a young age, because that does happen quite often these days. People very young are obtaining a lot of money. Coming from a traditional point where you work hard for your money, and working hard can take a long time sometimes. How much are you going to alter yourself until you make that money? Have you now given yourself some form of mental imbalancement in the process of getting all this money? Do you know what I mean? And now you're here left with, like you said, all these demons that you face on a daily basis, just to have all this money that can only cover up a portion of that hurt that you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get that. So would you like to be rich? And like ridiculously rich? Like rich to the point where it's like...
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about money at all. And none of your family do, and no one does.
No, not my family. Only me. Not you.
Only you.
Yeah, not you.
Right.
No, not you. I want to be rich, but not you.
Okay.
Because there's a big difference in that. Because I can help you.
Yeah.
But I don't want to foundate you.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it easy for you.
Why is that?
Because we learn off our parents. And the reason why I am the way I am is because of what I've seen of my parents. They are my guardians. They're the ones that showed me certain ways in my life. You know, I spoke to my cousin last night, and he mentioned to me about our last podcast, and you know, he said his gods are his parents. Yeah, they're his guardians.
Yeah, I read the comment on YouTube.
And you know, it's not,
which I thought was a nice comment too. I can relate to that myself.
So it's not what he said. It's how our family are.
Yeah.
Because we see them work hard. We see them struggle. You know, as much as my cousin saw his parents work hard, I saw my parents work hard. And my other cousins, this is the way we are. So when you say to me, would I like to be rich? I would like my own wealth, not your wealth. And I'd like you to see that I earned my wealth. And it teaches people, it teaches my next line to be the same, to teach their children. So when you say to me, would I like to be rich? Yeah. Would I like to help you? Yeah. Am I going to foundate you? No way. I'm not going to breed good children. Okay. What I'm going to do, because you might be okay because you see me struggle, but your children will struggle. Your children will be spoiled because you're going to have money and you're not going to show, they're not going to be able to see how you ended up with money. And how would your partner be? How would your partner look at you? Spoiled little cat. Parents from my parents. Little fucking she thinks she fucking is shouting at me. She ain't worked a day in her life. But it's true.
I hear you.
And this is why it's important.
So how about then if you won the lottery? We're talking like say you won £500 million.
Yeah.
Now you ain't worked for that.
Right, so
you've gambled to get that.
If I won £500 million, first thing I would do. No, I'm not even going to say that. Yeah, first thing I would do is go on holiday. All right, and I'll figure out, is this fucking real? Is this fucking real? I'd have to keep going to the bank all the time. Hey, what's my bank account, mate? I'd have to do it. Yeah. Because I don't think something like that. I mean, if someone's ever won the lottery, that sort of money, at what stage does they feel like it was real? Yeah. Is it once they spent it all and went, oh my God, it's all gone? At what stage was it real?
It's a surreal kind of thing, isn't it? You're like, what?
Because you've never encountered it. One day you was eating beans on toast. Now you got someone cooking for you. Yeah. 500 million. But you know, again, when I was talking to my cousin last night, I told him I'm a changed man since lockdown. You know, I'm just not that person who I was before. I was always hunting before. Now I'm not going to hunt. I'm just going to let things come. I'm going to let it come, and it's going to come. And £500 million, the thing that I would love to do, and I'd love you to be part of the journey that will give you moral being and your children moral being, is on the second episode where we went to LOUROUJINA, I would rebuild that village. I would rebuild it. And I don't care if I lost the money, because I never had it in the first place. And as long as I've got enough money to keep me going, I'm not going to give it to you. I'd rather rebuild a community that we could be left in legacy, an element of we made a change. Yeah. Instead of watching something die, as much as we watch the village in Cyprus where our great-great-grandparents were born, it's a dying village, and it needs some sort of help. That's what I would do. Okay. So I would give back, and I would give back a lot. I'd give back a lot here. Yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And things that I've encountered.
Yeah.
You know, mental imbalancements, drugs, I'd give it to them charities. But knowing that I'm giving to the charities the right way. Not just going, here, mate, here's some money. You know, no, it's like, I'm building you this, and I'm doing that, and I'm doing that. So I make sure I'm not just, you know, that's another thing that I was going to say, was as much as I'm giving back, some people are evil fucking bastards with money. Horrible fucking gits, mate. They take people to the drains. They don't give a shit. They don't look at people as like they're humans. Yeah, and that's where war kicks in, and it's horrible. Yeah, and I have to make sure that I'm not paying my way. If there is a Jannah or a heaven, I'm not paying my way to heaven. Did you get what I mean by that? I'm doing good in this world, and that is it. Some people in this world are horrible fuckers, and on the other hand, they go to church and give money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to the mosque. They call themselves Muslims, and they go to the mosque and they give money. Oh, no, I paid my dues.
Yeah.
Allah, well, yeah, Allah's gonna, all right, yeah. So did you get what I mean by
100%.
that? So it's important you being morally strong.
With or without money.
With or without money.
Yeah.
Money will make it brighter and lighter. You know what I mean? And you can create a beautiful road for yourself, for your children to look at. That's what it's all about. Remember what I tell you. Yeah? It's about, you know, reproducing and teaching your children the right way. The same way our parents taught us.
Are you not going to ask me?
What am I going to ask you?
Do I want to be rich?
I asked you that.
No, you didn't.
Didn't I?
No, you didn't.
Do you want to be rich? You got your daddy.
What do you mean?
You're already rich. You're not rich.
Yeah, I would like to be rich. I mean, I think most people would
Rich
like to be
in moral,
rich.
mate.
Yeah. I feel like, though, it's interesting when you think of, like, money in a sense of how many people do you think have a job that they hate just to get money?
Loads.
Loads,
The
isn't
majority of people I know are
Yeah.
unhappy.
So people in general don't do what they love, do they?
No.
Because if it's not making them money, they don't have time for it.
Yeah.
So it is an element of a bit soul destroying, isn't it? So I feel like if I had so much money that it was like, you know, you ain't got to figure out a way to make money now, what would I do? And I feel like that's when people would find themselves, them true selves. Do you know what I mean? Like, what would you enjoy doing if you didn't have to make money?
It's the same thing though, isn't it? With as much as we say religion, if there was no religion, full stop. You know, as much as I'll give you an example, like talking to my cousin last night, and he mentioned about his guidance or his gods. What happens if there was no religion, Ree?
Yeah.
And that person had no parents and no proper guidance? What would happen? The world would be in turmoil. No money, no guidance, no religion. Where would that be? How would that person... Imagine you've got a whole population of people like this.
Yeah.
It's frightening.
Very frightening.
It's a frightening thing
Yeah.
to...
No structure at all.
No structure.
No guidance at all.
Because intelligence itself, is a great thing to have. It's a great thing. You can talk yourself out of shit. You can write yourself out of shit. But intelligence is possibly your best friend and your worst enemy. Because your intelligence can question you into a hole with no true answers. And your intelligence can question you things that on your daily basis can get you out of shit. So that's why you've got to be very, very careful with that sort of shit.
Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
It's important.
So do you feel like children understand money?
So it's exactly like the way you're brought up. So, you know, a little bit not I want to say you'd contradict yourself in that conversation, but do children understand money? That's why you would never be left money. I'd help you, but I won't leave you money. I will spend every single fucking penny, and I'll show you what a good time I'm going to have, so you can go, that's what it's about. How would you feel? I'm going to go back to the conversation that you said about, do children understand money? How would you feel that I earned loads and loads and loads and loads of money and I never enjoyed my life with it? How would you feel when I died?
Yeah, I'd be very heartbroken.
You'd be like, he never enjoyed nothing.
Yeah, I'd be heartbroken.
Nothing. So you'd be more satisfactory if I left you no money and you went, my dad told me he was going to leave me no money. He helped me out a little bit, a bit of a deposit on a house, or helped me out with my driving test or whatever. But he had an amazing time. And I admire that. And as you get older and you start to create your own wealth, you will look at that and go, I'm doing the same. And you've got to teach your children to do that.
Yeah.
Help them, give them their foundation, and allow them to create their own structure and understanding of money themselves. So that will relate to the question you just asked me about, do children understand money? Is that right?
Yeah.
You're going to have a certain amount of people that will. So there's going to be sort of like guidance from their parents. Children will come from poor families and rich families. Because they come from rich families doesn't mean they're going to understand money better than the poor family. The poor family might respect it more. Yeah. Because they've never had it, and when they do get it, they look after it. It's just they don't have an abundance of money coming in as it's going out. Where on the other hand, the person with a lot of money is having an abundance of money coming in and not going out, and he just doesn't know what to do. He's bought all the trainers, all the iPhones, all this, all that. I see it in where I work. You have very, very wealthy aristocrat children that try to act poor now. They dress riggedy-raggedy clothes and this, that and the other. His mate walks in. I go, God, is he all right? He looks like he hasn't ironed his clothes. He goes, mate, his dad's a lord. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, his dad's a lord. They're worth about 300-400 million. I'm like, what's happening? And you can see he's been up all night drinking, smoking pot, sniffing coke. The fucking lot. Is it a stage they go through? Hopefully. If it ain't and it stays with them, why do they need to go out and work? Why do they need to go and get a job in Sainsbury's? Why do they need to go and pay the bills? The bills are being paid, the car's being bought, the holiday's there, everything is there. Why do they need to put themselves into a situation? I'm not saying this is for everyone that comes from that type of family, but it's about guidance. And, you know, you can see I've just dug my child a fucking deep hole. I've given them everything they wanted without realising, because I've got an abundance of wealth coming through. And this kid has no moral status in this world. He has no... He doesn't know his purpose. Because we've been brought up trying to earn money and making a fortune. He was born with it. Yeah. So being born with it or being born without it, it all depends your guidance. And do children today understand money? There's a percentage that do and a percentage that don't. Yeah.
I feel like schools as well could provide that guidance with regards to money if it was something that was taught in schools. Do you agree? Yeah. So if, for example, that person you mentioned doesn't have a religious compass, parents or financial compass, they could learn about certain things in school that could give that to them. Yeah. Because money isn't taught in school. Like, I remember we had a conversation before, and it's true what you said, that we're taught in school to learn as much as we can so that we can ultimately get whatever job we want to get, which will give us money. That is pretty much why we go to school and learn the subjects that we do. So,
the be all and end all,
you know, we can get a job, and what job we get depends on small portion of what interest we have in it, but a big portion of what we're good at. So we're taught about how to get that job to get that money, but we're not taught about what to do with that money.
Yeah.
The value of money, the importance of money. So I feel like that's where schools lack in that department. And I feel like children would understand money more, no matter what background they came from, if it was taught. Because as a child, you spend a great portion of your time in school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I can remember not everything I was taught in school, but you can remember bits and bobs, and you remember the
certain
bits,
lessons.
yeah,
whatever,
exactly, and you remember bits more of what you enjoyed. And I feel like because money is a real life thing, you have more relation to it, and you would learn more.
I'm going to get back to what you said. And I listened to what you said. You said money is a real life thing.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, it is.
Is it? Remember what I said? On that bit of paper,
Yeah.
it says, I swear to borrow you money. So it's all about a belief.
Yeah.
There's nothing physical. You do not go home and you got bars of gold.
No, I understand that. However, the money is real, though.
No, yeah, it's all with. Look, if we all tomorrow turned around and took away that thing was saying, no, I don't believe this is real. It's all on. This is how recessions, inflation, and everything works. It's all on the belief that we keep moving in a certain way that traps us into this taxation slave system that circulates money, that the government will make money.
Yeah.
All right. Getting back to what I was going to say, is there something deeper than money that we don't know about? Do you get what I mean?
Like
about
what?
We don't know.
Yeah.
Is it?
Do you have an idea of what?
I don't know. I don't know. Is it these people collect money, turn it into gold bullion and stash gold bullion for something? Is it they stash it in? I don't know. I don't know. But we can't just rely on this belief of this bit of paper passing around. What was the question you just asked me? What did you just say to me? Oh, right. That's what I was going to say to you. So the reason why I said that was because we now... You said you just turned around and said, oh, you mentioned something. So I'll just break this down really rapidly so that people can understand exactly what I said to you that day. I believe the educational system today is 40 years old. It needs to be re-reviewed. It needs to be looked at in a really deep way. The education system has stood still. As much as they give a little bit of enhancement here and there and make it a bit more, we put computers in and we've done this and we've done that. And I don't mean subjects that you're going to pick in secondary school. Yeah, I don't mean that. I mean from young. Okay. So when we talk about all these subjects that we're going to be talking about, science, this, that, English, boom, boom, I'm going to become a writer, I'm going to become a barber, I'm going to become this, I'm going to become that, and you get the financial reward at the end. Money needs to be spoke about from a very young age and taught about. So from 8 years old, money needs to be spoke about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we need to know. I'm not going to tell you to an 8-year-old about finance and everything, but we really need to understand.
Start introducing it to them.
And as they get older and older, and they get into like 13, like Kyra's age now, 12 years old, I think she should know what a loan is.
Yeah.
I think she should know. I mean, you got big companies out there that are giving Henry cards, credit cards. You know, what's this? To get them used to this system. Yeah. But instead of getting them to use the money system, get them to understand what money is. So I know it might work from home, but if it doesn't work from home, it needs to be introduced at school, because they're at school more than they are at home. So they need to know about what a mortgage is. They need to know what a loan is. They need to know what finance is, what interest rates is, what debt is, what debt collection is, what tax is, what income tax is, what corporation tax is. They need to know, if I invest my money, if I invest it into this, bonds, this, gold, diamonds, Bitcoin, this coin. They need to start understanding, because what is the fucking point in you going to school for 11 years of your life and taking further education, going uni, moony, doony, yeah? And you don't even understand the byproduct of it all, which is the money. 100%. You don't understand it.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is to learn what you're going to learn, but make sure the end goal is for me to understand when that product comes in, I know exactly what I'm going to do with it. And this is the problem we have. And I feel if this was educated at school more at an earlier age, I don't think people will turn too much to crime because they understand money. They'll understand what that is. You know, criminals can't go and buy a house. They can't go and buy a house. If you're a businessman, you can. And that's why clever criminals can, because they treat it like a business. So I feel like that educational system needs to be reviewed with a lot of other subjects that we'll bring up later on. So I thought I'd just let you guys know exactly what I meant when it comes to reviewing the educational system. And I think, this should be taught to your children from very, very young, if you're not already doing it, All right.
Yeah, definitely. So what relationship do you yourself have with money? How would you describe your relationship with money?
I find it because I earn money and I earn good money. The initial relationship I had when I first started my business is I changed my way of thinking. Before, I wanted to make money, and I said I've got to change the way I think. I can't not want to make money, because if I try and make money and I go home and I count it and I'm not making enough, I'm going to feel like I'm failing. So I changed the way I feel about money and how I think about it. And I said to myself, what I need to concentrate on is not money, but I need to concentrate on my product. What I'm doing, cutting hair, whatever I'm doing at that time, so if I can concentrate on my product, the byproduct of it, and making sure the product that I do, I love it. So it allows me to get up in the morning and go, right, I'm out of here. I'm digging fields. I'm writing a book. We're doing front covers. We're doing a podcast. Everything that we're doing, I'm loving. The byproduct of everything that I say in the psychological world of my thing, it's like a one big game, is that the byproduct is financial gain. Which will help me to do more things that I love. So when you say my relationship with money, I try not to make it a relationship with money. I try to make a relationship with my product, what I love doing, and the byproduct of it is financial gain. It makes me a happier person.
I agree.
Then it makes me feel like I don't let myself down if I go at the end of the day count money and I go, I ain't got enough money. I go, no, I need to concentrate on my product. And I think that's another thing that needs to be reviewed at school. You get what I mean?
Because I think it links back to what I said about how many people do what they don't love.
100%.
And I mean, not everyone is as fortunate to have time to invest in doing what they love. And I feel like that's a bit of a sad thing too, but it can't be helped in some people's lifestyles.
As much as we talk about money, how do you, like now, there's cash and there's digital money, cards and stuff like that. How do you feel about any of this? I mean, me looking at you, I feel like you don't even know what cash is.
I definitely do know what cash is.
Cash. I'm on about paper money. I know you know what it is, a £5 note, £10 note, £20 note. I know you know what it is. But I feel like you don't...
Every big sum of money I've ever had has not been cash.
Okay.
It's always been in my bank. I've never had a big stack of cash. I don't think... Well, I think it's to do with the times also. So, like, for example, me, as the card system has been more, like, introduced and is more, like, Apple Pay. You got all this, like, PayPal. All these other ways that you can store and use money. It's been introduced a lot heavier as I've been able to get money. Does that make sense? So when I was younger, and obviously I'd see you have a lot of cash on you, I don't really think I was aware of you having a card or anything like that for a very long time. It was always I knew you to have cash. We didn't really come from a family in terms of, by my immediate family, with cards. Like, I can remember being in school and getting like an Oyster card or something, and it was, okay, you've got to do it online and pay with card. Well, how am I going to get this? None of us have a card. Do you know what I mean? So it's something I've gotten used to. I don't really know no different. I'm aware of cash. I know it's a thing that had been around. You know what I mean? But it's more so now everything is, like you said, digital. And it's becoming more and more digital.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I like cash.
Why do you like cash?
I like it because I come from an era where cash is key. And banks lie to you.
Yeah.
Don't have cash. It's not good. It's not safe. People will burgle you and chop off your fingers and ransom your money and da-da-da-da-da, and they scared people to go, oh my God, can't have cash, can't have cash. And what it did, it made people go digital.
There's an element of control in that too, though, isn't it? Because, like, for example...
With digital?
Yeah. Because it's like... If you, however you've made this, get yourself 200 grand and it's in cash, no one's going to question that in your hand. Like, that's yours in your hand. But if you have 200 grand go into your bank account, they're going to ask you, where's that money come from? How have you got that amount of money, and where's it from? They want proof. They want to know. So it's the same when you buy something. The bank has got proof of you buying that. Whereas if you've purchased this with your cash, unless you get a receipt from that person, how are you going to know I bought that?
So this is why, like I say, you know, all these things that I talk about all lead back to this taxation slave system. So if you've got cash, there's going to be criminal activities that are going to be going on. If I've got cash and I go and buy a car, no one knows I've bought a car.
No.
If I go and buy something, no one really knows. I'm not saying that I'm doing anything illegally behind the scene, but it just makes things flow a little bit easier, no paperwork involved.
100%.
And whatever I've done that day, it's my benefit, no one else's benefit. So talking about card, the cash card or whatever, it's a monitoring system that is driving us completely into a taxation slave system. All right, where if you have cash, it's not so much. You know how to play the game. Not that I do, because I don't handle cash. Okay, everything that I do in my business is all card related. So it makes me go completely clean. I can't hide nothing. I can't do anything, you know, out of the ordinary and go, oh, I'm going to nick a couple of £100 here or £1,000. You can't do that. As much as that sounds, oh, I'm legit and I'm a law-abiding citizen, it makes me just part of this taxation system that I don't fucking like. You know, I don't like the fact I've just become another number. When I had solid cash in my pocket and I had a bit of a lump, it made me want to go out and make it bigger. I can't make that card bigger.
Yeah.
The card's the same. I can look at my bank account, but it's just digits on the screen. How beautiful is it that I can throw a big wad of cash on top of my bed and go, look at that. It's something physical.
Yeah.
The same way we spoke about the glass. That glass is in front of me and in another room. I don't know if it's there. I have a card that tells me in the bank I have that much money, but do I really have it there? Or is it fuckers playing around with digits and psychologically telling me just moving money around? Do you get what I mean? But when I got my money, it's my money, and it makes me want to work harder. It makes me want to be more, you know what I mean? It makes it more physical for me. It's like I haven't got a gold bullion bar, but what I fucking got is a wedge of cash that I can buy a gold bullion bar.
Yeah.
So cash, I think it's key. It's slowly going to go, and it will go, and it will turn all digital. I've turned digital, and once it all goes digital worldwide, which it will happen when, I don't know if we will call it money anymore.
Think it will get a new name.
I think it will get a new name, and I feel like money itself will be thing of a past. Because when you say, how much money's that, mate? Yeah? You go, oh, that's so much. They don't say that no more now. They go, how much does that cost?
Yeah.
So money itself is going to slowly die out, and we're all going to fall into this big taxation slave system where we all just become a machine, and there's going to be no difference to any slavery time different in the past. It's just a different formula.
Yeah. You feel like cash gave you more drive
Gave me more drive. When I went out to work and the bloke was sitting there, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm like, keep counting, mate, keep counting. Now it's like, yo, I just transferred 400 quid in your account. Yeah. Is that it? Is that it? Is that it?
Yeah.
And cash, and everyone out there that is watching this will understand that whoever's dealt with cash loved it. The bloke coming in with a wallet and dropping it on the bar, and you're like, that's full of fucking money. What is it, 50s? Is it 20s? Are they real? Are they what? Is it this? Yeah,
was it no? Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. You had an element of like, am I going to get robbed?
Yeah.
It made you a stronger guy. It made you more, don't fuck up. And deals were quicker then.
Yeah.
Deals were like, how much do you want for that, mate? Yeah, bam, bam, bam. Very quick. So, yeah. So
everything is more run off technology, innit, these days?
Everything is. I mean, you'll find... I love cash, and it's sad it's gone. I feel like there's a part of me that is gone ever since I've stopped using cash. Do you know what I mean by that? It's a crazy. Only certain people will understand that. New people won't understand that.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's something deeper about money, and we just can't see that?
That's what I said earlier. That's what I said earlier. Is this? Let's see how we're talking about something now. And I'm driving you into actually understanding not what money can buy, but what actually money is. What it is and what it stands for, where it comes from, and what it actually it locks into the system, not to you, and how it works as a veins that run through an economy, you know, and just a press of a button now, a bank can see exactly what is fucking going on. Yeah. See exactly what's going on.
It also makes you feel like with the banks that one day that could just go.
Yep.
What happens if there's a big
It happens all over the world.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
It happens all over the world.
Shit, like all my hard-earned money that I've been saving, my savings, everything like that is just gone.
Yeah. And it will be gone.
Yeah.
And they'll say, yeah, we'll give you 80 grand back. But you're like, fucking hell, mate, I've got 500 million in the bank.
Exactly.
And they're like, well, that's all you're getting.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it happens every single day.
It's like a shared responsibility now. Now it's not just your responsibility.
Where if you had cash, it was your shit.
Yeah.
You just bought a shotgun. Yeah, and that sounds weird. And it's like, if anyone comes in my house, I'm blowing their fucking head off.
You see me? Yeah.
You want the money, or do you want your face?
Yeah.
And that is it. You know?
Because they say, isn't it? Money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
And I do believe that.
Now you do. I mean, because like I just explained to you, at what stage in your life are you?
Yeah.
Are you not right? Are you psychologically in this way? You know, imagine you're a murderer, a serial murderer, and you've got loads of fucking money. You're going to kill loads of people.
Trust me.
If you're a rapist and you've got loads of money, you're going to go out and you're going to rape loads of people because you've got time to do it. It's like the drug is me being fueled, you know? If you're...
and that's the other thing. Money is kind of like a drug.
It's a drug.
It's addictive.
It's a drug.
Yeah, it's addictive.
It's a drug. And that's why people do the most stupidest things for it. The same way they do for heroin, crack, coke.
Yeah.
All these other drugs. Do you get what I mean? This is crazy how money drives people into a crazy place.
And like you said, you can't escape it. This is the world that we live in.
This is the world that we live in.
So what's your opinion on, like, for example, parents?
Like my parents?
Yeah, like your parents, say, and how they showed you the value of money if they did.
Right, so with me, it's a hard one because you had my dad who was shit with money. as much as I tell you what he did, and you're going to read this book and you're going to go, holy fucking shit. He was shit with money.
Yeah.
He would poker it. He would drink it. He would gamble it. He would give it away. He didn't have no understanding of this money. Never did. Not like his brothers. His brothers were different. They understood money. They respected hard-earned cash.
Why do you think that was?
Mentality.
Okay.
Personality.
Okay.
Difference. You know, did dad have that weakness? Dad liked to have a good time. The way my dad had a good time
Was spending money.
was not like how my uncles had a good time. The way my dad had a good time was going flashy, sitting on poker tables, playing. Oh, I could never see my uncles doing that.
Yeah.
My uncle would build the poker table. You know, my other uncle would rent the poker table. But my dad was like, nah, fuck all that, mate. And my dad would say, it's boring. That's boring for me.
Yeah.
I find it boring. I need to be stimulated.
Yeah.
Which I get it. I understand it.
And some people have that money is to be spent.
Money's to be spent. And that's what he said. He said, I'm going to die one day. I said, I'm going to use it. And I get it. You know, there's no point in you having loads and loads and loads of money
if you don't enjoy it.
Don't enjoy it. Like I just said to you, how would you feel if I had loads and loads of money and I died?
Yeah.
You'd be really pity. You would feel sorry for me. You'd be like, what a fucking shame. So, me deep down, I'd always say, make sure you have a really, like, balance.
Yeah.
Because as much as I say my dad spent, my mum was completely the opposite.
Yeah.
Completely the opposite. She would save every single penny. I felt like I took after my mum a little bit when it came to money.
Yeah.
And I feel like my brother took after
Your dad.
my dad. I feel like my sister
is a bit of both.
Yeah. She knows how to save money, but she knows how to have a good time.
Yeah.
She doesn't know. She doesn't feel guilty. My brother might go through dry patches.
Yeah.
Me, I go through. Oh, damn, I don't feel like I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I should be doing more. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So we've always got our own little battles.
Yeah.
You know?
You've each taken something different, and because of your own individual personalities, it's determined how you approach it.
Just like me and your mum.
Yeah.
So me and your mum can go through water. See that? Oh, let's go back. I love your mum with all my heart. Did you see that 500 million that you said I won?
Yeah.
Mum would go through it. Mum would go through that 500 million. Is that it?
2 weeks.
It'd be gone. It'd be gone.
Yeah.
All right. And and that's why me myself, I'm different.
Yeah.
I don't tell your mum everything.
Yeah.
I never did in the past, and sometimes still today I don't. And I think that's what keeps us going.
Yeah.
And that was the same way my mum and my dad were. My mum wouldn't tell my dad everything, and only at the end when they semi-retired, my mum opened up to him, and he was like, "Are you fucking joking?
Really?
What? We own land over here, and we own land over there, and what? We're gonna buy that?" He was gobsmacked.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing you don't know about her, because she knew what is good for the family.
Yeah.
She never done it for herself, because she don't drive a big fat car or do this or do that or do this, do that.
Yeah.
Only until my mum and dad went and bought this property here, and my dad now is giving it all the large. Like he's like, oh yeah, I worked. But the reality of it was, and my family will vouch, it was me mum.
Yeah.
My mum was the smart one. She's the one that went without.
Yeah.
And as much as she went without, we went without as kids. So she said, you guys could have a better future.
Yeah.
Which I feel guilty, because as much as I turn around and say to you, I'm not leaving you a penny, I wish my mum enjoyed her life a bit more. I really, really did. I really, really did. So yeah, how my parents were, how they grow up, and you watch them work hard. You watch me work hard, yeah?
Yeah.
Non-stop. Because I'm not going to stop.
Yeah.
I've got 10 minutes. I'm here doing a podcast. Go to work tomorrow. Come home Thursday. Podcast. Boom. Bit filming this, recording non-stop.
And your kids do pay attention to that.
They do.
They do.
They do. And if they don't, I think you need to throw them away.
But no, your kids do acknowledge that, definitely.
Right. We're going to finish this off. So we'll finish this off. And money is very, very important. Okay. So I'll talk to the camera now. So everything that we talk about, again, I'm going to highlight it again, is relating to the book. A lot of drive, destruction, addiction, mental imbalancement in the book was due to money. You know, it created a lot of issues. Heads banging, mentalities in my head were banging. And I find, you know, to talk about money and wish we had that education at school. Wish we had that little bit more understanding with money, bit more patience, bit more, you know, foundating myself, maybe a little bit more, maybe concentrating on my product and not counting on the money. Would have given me a little bit more of a stability, but it didn't. And because it didn't, it's important for me to highlight that. And where it didn't, it gave me an amazing book to write. So I can't say it was all bad. All right. So I wouldn't be writing a book. We wouldn't have been writing a book. We wouldn't be here talking about it. We wouldn't have had our own education. We'd have just been flat. And like I said, I'm glad these things have happened, because it's ended up giving us that clarity of fragrance and colour, and, you know, all these other little bits of difference, where I can actually say I never fell into that taxation system initially at the beginning, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, money, you can't live with it, and you can't live without it, and it's the root to your happiness, and it's the root to your unhappiness.
Yep, definitely.
But I think the most important thing out of everything that we've said today, and I'll always say it, and it's something that I never had in a book, was balance.
Yeah.
And it's important that we as individuals step back from ourselves. And I'm not here to educate anyone. I'm only talking about my own experiences, okay? That balance is very important. You've got to remember, chasing money, you become individualized, and you can cut a lot of people out, and you become very selfish. And, you know, I'm number one because I'm earning the money. I'm putting the food on the table. But the reality of it is that you are a son, you are a father, you are a wife. You know, you've got these other responsibilities, and you need to balance that out. And I think that is what makes you rich. Makes you a rich father, a rich son, a rich brother, a rich boss, a rich grandchild, a rich grandparent,
a rich friend.
It makes you rich in that. And that's where I say, if money ever comes into your life, it just makes you even richer morally.
Yeah. I just think it's important to not tarnish yourself in the process of getting money. You know, it's important, but try and have that richness in other ways. Yeah. And money will just come one way or another.
Yeah, even if it doesn't, what I just told you about balance, you're fine.
You're fine, exactly.
You're fine, okay? Right.
Another good podcast today.
Yeah, did you enjoy it? Yeah. Right, I think I'm going to go and spend a couple of quid on the lottery. 7298 2962. Bum.
Well, imagine someone now does the lottery tonight. Yeah. Is it tonight, the lottery?
I don't know. I'll never play it. Anyway.
Well, as always, guys, huge thank you for listening. Another successful podcast, I'd say. Yeah. I've enjoyed every moment of it. I enjoy every moment of doing these. I really do. I feel like we learn more about each other. Mm-hmm. I feel like we provoke meaningful conversations with our viewers. We get you guys thinking about maybe things that you don't have the chance to think about. And I think that's what's good. It's you hearing our opinions, but also allowing it to ignite your own opinion too. And as always, we love hearing them. So if you've enjoyed today's podcast, leave us a little comment. If you've really enjoyed it, like it, share it with your friends. And we will be back next Sunday with another amazing topic for you all. So anything else you want to add?
Yeah, just one last thing. We have to...
I have to ask Dad that, because I know when I'm done, he's not done yet.
Nah,
he's not,
go on.
He's not done yet.
Yes, so it was about a journey. Yeah, it's important. Like I said previously, I'm no professor in any subject that I'm talking about. So everything that we talk about is only through my own experience. That is it. All right. So I don't want anyone sort of like, yeah. It's just the way it is. All right. And we're growing.
And it is okay if you disagree with things that are said also, because we all come from different lives. These are what these podcasts are about too. It's about, you know, acknowledging our differences, but acknowledging how we're similar too. So, yeah.
We are not all the same.
We're not.
All right? That's what gives us our personalities.
Our fragrance, as Dad likes to say.
I love it. But
when you say that, I think of like rice. I don't know why I like...
You're just hungry again, ain't you?
Shut up. I've had enough.
Yeah, but I want to encourage you guys on your journey, all right? Very important, yeah? A saying that I feel like I'm just going to finish it off with 2 little things, okay? Don't do anything you like. It will die out. You do everything you love, all right? It will give you a financial reward or a moral reward. And secondly, enjoy your journey. All right, it's important that we always make sure that we wake up with a bit of a spring in our step to make sure we enjoy what we do. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's important. But yeah, should we go and play the lottery? £500 million and we're out of here. Yeah. Guys, tune in next time.
Don't
Love
forget,
you guys.
You can stream our podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See you next Sunday.
Peace out.
Peace, love.
Boom. Ching, ching, bling, bling.
Oh! Hi guys, Ria here. Thank you for watching our video as always. But quickly before you go, I just wanted to introduce to you guys our brand new first ever sponsor. It's an amazing new business called NOOR Nutrition. I've managed to get my hands on some halal collagen. For those of you that don't know what collagen is, it's an amazing vitamin that you can include into your daily routine. It helps contribute to your hair, your skin, your nails, rejuvenates the skin, reduces wrinkles, and on top of it, this is the type of collagen as well that contributes to the overall structure of your organs, your joints, and muscle mass. There's a lot of great health benefits to taking collagen. This particular one is 400 grams, so you get roughly around 40 servings. It's unflavored. You can, basically what you do is you mix it in any form of liquid you want. It can be a glass of water, a smoothie, a cup of tea, a coffee. You can even put it in your yogurts. It's a very versatile product that's easy for you to incorporate or start incorporating in your daily routine. We're all trying it in the house at the moment. It is highly undetectable. We don't even know that we're consuming it. And it's just something great to, you know, invest in yourself. So at the moment, they've got a 25% discount. You can have a look on their website. I'll just put that here. But because we're going to give you a discount code, MEM10, you're going to get a further 10% if you put that discount code in on the website. So check them out, an amazing brand that's going to be doing some really great things in the future, and our first ever sponsor. So yeah, guys, check them out. NOOR Nutrition.